Now to Iran. On social media, President Trump said this afternoon that peace talks with Iran are continuing at a, quote, rapid pace. However, Iranian state media says negotiations are suspended. And earlier in the day, the president acknowledged as much. It was all very confusing. CBS News national security analyst Aaron McClain joins me now. He also hosts the Most Excellent School of War podcast. Aaron, if you were following interviews the president conducted with NBC, then CNBC, and watching his social media feed, your neck was literally snapped in every single direction, because at one point this morning, the president said, I hadn't heard that the Iranians had suspended it. Oh, that's okay with me. They were getting boring anyway. Silence is all right. Then he said, I'm going to talk to the Israeli prime minister and see what's going on in Lebanon, as if the president of the United States doesn't know what's going on in Lebanon. Try to help us understand what is or isn't real here.
Yeah, the noise to signal ratio today, Major, was heavily in favor of noise. Don't forget, you left out that at one point the president declared that a ceasefire was in place between Hezbollah and the IDF in southern Lebanon, only to see Prime Minister Netanyahu say on social media shortly after that actually Israeli forces would continue to do what they're going to do in southern Lebanon, and held open the possibility of strikes in Beirut if Hezbollah continued to strike them. You know, I would say, stepping back, the overall appearance was that the president was eager to keep the negotiations with Iran going. Why? Probably because he's worried about the markets. He needs the markets to stay in a good position for him, and if talks genuinely pause or even collapse, that's bad.
And Aaron, one of the ways you can tell how those who have a financial skin in the game are actually reacting to reality, whether the president is characterizing reality or not, is the oil markets, and they traded up. Brent crude was up almost $4.50. West Texas Intermediate up more than $5 today. That means they are anticipating things being possibly more hostile than not.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I think a lot of observers of commodities markets, the energy markets, are surprised, actually, that things are holding together more or less as well as they are so far. It does have kind of the feeling
Meaning it's near 100, it's not 150 or 180.
Or 200. I mean, it does feel a bit like Wile E. Coyote when he runs off the cliff and his feet keep spinning, but he's still in air. The floor has not fallen out yet, or the roof, because the price will go up, has not yet blown off.
And let's talk about Lebanon for a second. I want to play for our audience something that I know you remember the president saying on May 20th, talking to reporters outside of Air Force One. He said this about his relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister. Play it.
He'll do whatever I want him to do. He's a very, very good man. He'll do whatever I want him to do.
Okay. The Iranians have made it clear that cessation of hostilities in Lebanon is what they consider to be consistent with an overall ceasefire. And violations there, meaning it's all off, meaning things could restart again, meaning the Strait of Hormuz becomes more complicated. Analyze that for us, because what the Israelis did over the weekend was go farther in Lebanon than they'd been for 26 years.
That's right. They've been pushing north. They took this old Crusader castle, the Beaufort Castle, which stands on this commanding terrain overlooking the Litani River. Look, the president likes to say things like that. He doesn't like other world leaders to be perceived as equals, generally speaking. But that's not very good for Prime Minister Netanyahu politically at home. He, of course, needs to project strength to his own domestic political constituency. And by the way, these Iranian calls for a ceasefire in Lebanon are fairly convenient insofar as Hezbollah, not so great at abiding by the terms of ceasefires, pretty good at shooting at Israeli troops who are operating north of this border. They're in a real dilemma there. If they come back south of the border like they were before October the 7th, Hezbollah builds up its combat power. If they go north of the border and occupy in the long run, as they have in the past, Hezbollah hammers Israeli troops north of the border. It's not a great choice.
Let's do a quick numbers level set on the Strait of Hormuz. It was reported today and confirmed by us that the U.S. Navy has been quietly escorting a small number of vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. I believe it's an average of 3 per day.
Yeah.
Is that meaningful?
Well, to quote a great Martin Scorsese movie, The Wolf of Wall Street, those are rookie numbers. You got to get those numbers way up. 3 or 4 a day. Keep in mind the pre-war number was 130 to 140 a day. So is this meaningful at the margins? Maybe a little bit in combination with, you have Saudi, you have the UAE shipping oil through pipelines to other terminuses. You have freight being taken across the continent on trucks. There's all sorts of ways in which you can kind of mitigate the closure of the strait, but no, 3 ships a day ain't going to do it.
We love all references to movies, especially Martin Scorsese movies. Aaron McClain, thank you very much.